Okay, now that we have our basics done, let's get some documentation about Docker and PostgreSQL databases. So let's come here on my wiki and see what I already have it done. I want Postgres. So this is what we'll use. The idea with this project is to create one Postgres instance for each client to have this everything separated. So let's just go to project, okay, and here let's use Docker mkdir Docker files. Let's just use as Docker cd Docker touch PostgreSQL base.yaml. Let's edit it, and here the password will be only Postgres, and the volume of the Postgres data will be stored locally on data PostgreSQL. Okay, so first I need to put this somewhere, like for development purpose I'll use, let me just save it, cp dev underline, okay, and I'll change it for slash temp just for development purpose. So docker compose dash f dev up dash d sudo 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 systemctl start docker. Let me just enable it. Enable. And now let's bring our Postgres up. Let me just find also my PGadmin. Okay, so let's just PGadmin 4. I want the RPM. Probably this is the right one. No, this is the right one. Fedora 40. Okay. Okay, can't find. Download pgadmin development team. Nothing, nothing. Package archive from where we can. If I just download it for. Okay, so let's just get it. Sudo dnf install pg. Yeah, yes. Okay, so now I'll just need to open it. Probably it's not created on my season yet. PGA. Let me just stop recording and just log in again. Okay, no luck on it, so let's just get the beaver instead. Just remembered the beaver. Download community Windows Linux Yeah, that's great. Let's just get a terminal. Sudo dnf install downloads the beaver, and then password. Yep, let's just install this. Sudo update db. Sudo locate the beaver. Okay, usr. Where is the beaver? Okay, now it's showing for me. Yep. Sudo docker. No, I don't want to. Let's just get the beaver here. Docker PGaaS. Okay, so our Postgres instance is here. So let's create next. Localhost database is Postgres, username is Postgres, and the password is also Postgres. Okay, finish. Confirm. Loading. Installing the drivers. Okay, no problem. Okay, our Postgres instance is here. So with this, let's just go to project this, and with this Docker, uh, with this Docker configuration here, Docker compose file, we can create a fully isolated Postgres instance to run. That's great. My idea here is to create a file for each client. So let's imagine that we have the client username. So pg underline client username dot YAML. That client username, and let's just use a database instance ID. So let's copy this Postgres, and for each client use these for like a random port. Let's use 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4. Yeah, great. Expose 1 2 3 4. Okay, so this is the internal container port, or it's the opposite, but we'll see. And this is the local folder that will store the data, and this is the container folder. I think that's the opposite. 1 2 3 4. Okay, great. So let's just use this print working directory, and that's no problem. So docker compose up, docker compose dash f pg up dash d. Let's just sudo. Okay, and now we have another Postgres instance. So let's just connect to a new instance. Postgres SQL localhost Postgres, but now is 1 2 3 4, and the password is the same. So okay, great. Okay, so now we have two Postgres instances, and the idea of using Docker and local storage on Docker is to have the security of a local database installation, but also at the same time have security for the clients to do not interact with the other clients' instances. So that's good. Great. In Docker, we also need to specify, I also want to specify the size of the file system. Let me just sudo docker ps. I know that's already working, so let's just What? Why there's only one database? Do these databases working? Let me just try to carry something. Yeah, this database just fell off. Sudo docker compose dash f dev up dash d. Now it will work. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, great. Okay, so now it's working. Let's keep using the beaver. Sudo docker ps. Our Postgres instances are overriding each other. Oh, let me understand. So I have my client, PG client, services, probably because the service has the same name. Let's just try to change the service name. So now that I have my dev up, let's nano pg and change this Postgres for, let's use the same architecture of the file name. Will be like this: sudo docker compose dash f pg up dash d, sudo docker ps, sudo docker ps. Yeah, and now we have two instances. Yeah, that was the problem. The name was the same, so it was overwriting each other's name. So the idea on our base YAML is, let me just edit this, copy, paste. So here will be Postgres, then the username and the database ID, database instance ID. Image, probably we can have some image versioning here, so let's just use a little bit of Jinja after. So Postgres, let's just edit like with comment. Postgres, probably add versioning, allow the client to choose what PostgreSQL version to use. Okay, great. Generate a random port for the client and 1 2 3 4, use the same random generated port. Okay, great. And generate a random password for the client, and the volume will be, probably we'll want to use something like PG DBS, and then something like this: username database instance ID, copy, something like this, because one client can have many database instances, so probably something like this. And here will be like username will be the username of the account, and the DB instance instance ID will be probably a integer. I don't know if that will work, but we can change it later. It will be an integer that we'll be able to get front table. Will be a probably we'll think on it. Will be the ID. Okay, we'll think on what to do here. Okay, so now that's working, we must to have it's a must to have services with different names. And okay, let's just save it. All right, sudo docker ps sudo docker compose dash f pg down sudo docker ps. Let's deal with this in another moment. First, I want to limit the RAM, so I need to add here. Let me code dium dot. Here, I want to create a RAM limit. Let me make some comments. Add RAM limit. Add CPU limit. Add storage limit. Okay, great. Because I'm thinking to have like just some megs of RAM, just a tenth of CPU, and just some megs of storage for free tier or something like this. So let's just ask ChatGPT. It's easier. So let's go in a private window for ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Copy. Probably just pasting this here. He'll know what to do. Deploy resources. I don't know if this will work, but let's test. So let me just copy this stuff. PG username. Yep, same stuff. Great. I don't want it to be generated yet. Post Greece. I don't know why this is that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just reveal this. I want this to be /temp. Here we want to have PG username, the instance ID. Okay, CPU, half of a CPU, memory reservations, limit RAM, but I want storage to be limited also. How to limit storage resources? Da da da. PG data driving bind. Probably I don't need to do this. I can create just a volume name. Like the volume name can just be this. volumes, and will be something just like this. And just hit autocomplete or something like that. Postgres data, great stuff, but not what I need. So let's search a little bit. How to limit storage on a Docker Compose file. Okay, great. Just about it. It's not a Docker Compose file. Okay. Mem limit, but mem limit is not for disk, as far as I know. Let's just check. Configuration that states a memory that container, but the memory is just too generic. Can be throttled or killed. Docker Compose mem limit. This is an older way to set memory limits on containers using Docker Compose. Nowadays it's deprecated. We recommend to use the mem limit option under the deploy key. See? Deploy resource limits reservation. Why two memories? Probably this will be reserved for the container and this is the limit. But it's not what I want. Docker volume create driver local. Yeah, this is somewhere near what I want. Temporary file system, WordPress database. This will be the name. Yeah, so first it's creating the volume and then it's using into a compose file. Okay. So probably storage option. So I will need to make some more research and then I just come back with some answers. Okay, so I didn't find a proper answer for this. So my idea is to have something like var username, database instance ID and data, but here we can mount a virtual file system, and to do it let's just get my terminal here. So let's dd, let's create a file for this, touch create vfs for client. That's not a great name. Nano create virtual file system. So the idea is to dd the input file. The input file will be dev 0. The output file will be var. user name, database database instance ID dot ISO. Let's just use ISO as a postfix, and block size will be 1 meg, and the count will be how many megs the client wants. So count, let's just use 100 meg. So I think that's about it, and then we need to make file system. At first we need to mkdir-p, so this will create this directory, and we also want database instance ID directory. So it will create this directory, and then it will write this file on the username directory, and then it will make a file system on this file. Let's just choose a good file system, copy, paste, make file system. Let's use ext4, ext4. Okay, great. So now I have file system, and then mount the file system here. Okay, chmod plus x, create virtual file system, permission denied, sudo. Okay, so now if I just list this, I should have a loop device on somewhere that's not here. Can't find in fstab. Yeah, because it isn't. This is the file that I want to mount on that directory. Let's just use it again. And now, great, that's created. So first we need to create the directory, not the directory, the f.h. So at first we need to create the loop device. Yeah, let's just create a file here. readme.md. So the path will be 1. Create a loop device. Sorry, 0. Create the client fs structure. Create the loop device. And then we'll format the loop device. Format the loop device with ext4fs. Okay, great. And then we'll mount the loop device on the client file system created before. Okay, great. So now we have the structure, and then we can start creating the container. And the container will be, and that's in var. Let me just check if I created this correctly. Var username database instance ID. So that's correct. Okay, var username database instance ID, and then the Docker will create the data folder. Great. Restore CPU and memory, so it will. I don't need this. Probably just this will be fine. I don't want to have it reserved. If it's available, I want this to be available. So, okay. Great. So now I can delete this file. Yeah, move to trash. And I can delete this file. Now this is what should happen. And the fourth step is start the Docker compose file with client configurations. And these client configurations are random part, so PG version, random port, let me see anything more, password, random password, and then yeah, resource limits, CPU limits, RAM limits. So here that's just 1.1 create with client storage specification. In this case, 100 megs, but yeah, 100 megs. Okay, so now if I sudo docker ps sudo docker container stop 39 3ca, okay, 9c6 9, okay, great. Sudo docker ps dash a sudo docker, I think that's delete docker container 39. Okay, great. Starts yep, rm dash f. Okay, great. Sudo docker ps dash a. Okay, great. Now we don't have any container anymore. So if we follow our steps, df, so umount, copy, paste, sudo umount, okay, great. And then rm dash rf var username sudo. Okay, so sudo dot create virtual file system, sudo docker container exec not container, sudo docker compose dash f up dash d. Okay, great. And now on our debeaver, let's just delete these connections that we just deleted the databases. Yeah, and let's just connect again. Postgres port is 1234, finish. Okay, and now it's here. And if we go to var username, oops, find sudo find. So here we have all our Postgres data. So sudo docker ps sudo docker container stop 7 umount sudo umount. Okay, great. Now we don't have anything more. Sudo mount. Okay, great. So it should work just fine that way. Sudo docker container as a start. I don't remember the container ID. Sudo docker ps-a 7. Okay, so now it's still here. Great stuff. Schemas, public tables. Let's just reconnect. Probably it's already reconnected. Great, so this will be the structure that we'll use to automate the process of creating a database instance for clients. This will be the starting point. Now let's just commit this stuff. Git, remembering, git config, I remember exactly. Let's just remake the configuration. Uh, history pipe grep git. Okay, here I did some shit, so copy, paste, me at .com. Probably I don't need username, so no problem. Git add dot git commit dash m docker beginning git push. And now we can, where's my Firefox here? github.com, and our Docker files are here. Great stuff. So that's about it. Let's begin another moment.